Hi, everyone, and welcome to special Trimulcast of the Neil Haley Show, the Storehouse Media Group podcast and Criminally Good with Sherrie and Jen. Guys, who's our guest today? We have round two, and I'm excited because we've been talking 9/11. I can't believe we're that close. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I want to welcome back Eric Immesberger. He
Thank you.
is retired ATF. How many years were you with ATF? 21, 22 years?
21.
21 years there. But before that, you were also working in New York with the is it the district attorney's office or the U.S. attorney's office?
Yep. Detective with the Brooklyn DA's office
Okay.
for about 9 years
Yeah.
in Department of Investigation
Okay.
and uniform work, police work before that.
Okay. In part one, you talked to us about your experience with 9/11, and it was impactful. It's just an experience that, well, I had my own at Pentagon. So my just telling you your experience it means an awful lot to have heard that from you and for you to tell us that. And, you got us to the point that you guys, you started out washing a car on 9/11 that morning early and taking a run and doing some things. And then the next thing you know, you're there in, everything is falling down. That's the only way to explain that. And um, then you're just there and working, and you guys worked right on through 6, 7 months at least.
Yep.
Plus, as you said, crime stopped for a day. It didn't stop forever. It just stopped for a day.
Crime
For
stopped for a day.
yeah,
The loving on law enforcement lasted maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then it was pretty quickly back to everybody back to their corners. I used to tell my guys and gals, I'm like, look, if you want everybody to love you, go be a fireman. Uh,
that's true.
Not
That's true.
everybody is going to love you doing the law enforcement piece. But one of the things I wanted to throw out there, the 25th anniversary is almost upon us. And the buzz phrase that everybody likes to say, not only about 9/11, but everything else where something bad happened, is never forget. And the good people, the patriots, the solid American citizens, they haven't forgotten. But as I used to say back when GWAT, Global War on Terror, was in full swing, the military was at war. America was at the mall. And a stark difference from the way America conducted themselves with the social fabric during World War II and even the Korean War. Vietnam is where everything kind of got the disconnect between the American people being in support, one team moving down the the mission road at the same time, and everywhere I went, the last 25 years, it's like, does anybody realize what America has been through in the last 25 years? And to all the people that were not even born on 9/11 yet, they're whoever tells them the story of this or whatever they read about it, that's really they're going to be their perspective. And of course, if they go down to the site and Shanksville and the other, so it's something, the never forget part. Um, and what's going on in New York City right now deserves some comment. There's very few groups of people that are not controversial. And the 9/11 families of those that lost somebody on that day and in the months and years after, I think there's been more cancer deaths than actual loss of life on 9/11. But um, if you upset the 9/11 families and you lose them, your train has gone so far off the track. And that is exactly what's happening right now up in New York City, where the current mayor, there is a widely signed and circulated petition, and the wishes of the 911 families. They don't want to see that mayor, and they don't want to see his wife at ground zero on September 11th. When we say the never forget, elections have consequences, and we respect them, and the will of the people be done by who gets elected. But the electorate in New York City is typically apathetic, meaning there is a relatively low turnout compared to the number of eligible people on the voter rolls. And if you have a cause and you mobilize enough of your supporters, you will put your candidate across the finish line. And the guy that went across the finish line, it's the current mayor. Elections have consequences. And to the citizens of New York, this is the guy you put in. I'm curious to see what's going to happen on 9/11.
I'm with you on 100%. 2,977 on 9/11, 2001, we lost, and that doesn't count the 19 SOBs. Beyond that, we have lost well over 3,000 to the 70 cancers and the numerous lung diseases associated with the 9/11 for the responders and the people who were in the city. I call them, they are the survivors, but caught in the dust. And they're not just people from New York City. We've also losing some from the Pentagon. From our agency, from ATF, we've lost 9. As far as the people who are currently sick, my understanding, because I keep up with some of the 9/11 World Trade Center, I keep up with the World Trade Center Health Program and the attorneys that work with that and assisting those who need the help with that. There are well over 10,000 people that are dealing with some type of 9/11 related illness. That's an awful lot that's going on. So we haven't stopped losing people that were impacted by that dust, by the stuff that they breathed in, not just on 9/11, what we watched on TV, but what was there for days, weeks, months. It's a long time span on that, and the breathing it in. So the never forget. Eric, am a 100% never forget. And never forget does not have a shelf life. And shame on the people who think, oh, that was 25 years ago. No, it's still ongoing. And people need to be aware. So I'm 100% with you on that one, sir.
Well, you go to the 9/11 memorial, and that's when you can put the faces with those who died within the 9/11 event, but we don't see the faces of those who have died since. And I know, Jennifer, you've spent a lot of time helping them as well afterwards. But yeah, it is a never forget. And people who went through it, they not only do they not forget, but it's like Eric did last week. They remember every single detail because that's how profound it was and impactful.
You're not going to meet a survivor.
NYP,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're not going to meet a
NYPD
survivor that doesn't remember every second of 9/11 and the days that followed.
Indeed. I was going to say to Sherrie's comments, NYPD is exquisitely good at a few things. They're good at a lot of things, but they're very, very good in the way they hire people, great ceremony, and equally when there's a line of duty death with that whole first week of ceremony, the funeral, the burial, they handle it expertly. And they really never forget. They don't. There is the constant drumbeat of those that were killed in the line of duty. When you walk into 1PP, One Police Plaza, their headquarters, if all you have to do is look up the walls of the lobby from about eye level to the ceiling, there's a name for every officer that's been killed in a line of duty. And they have regular street renamings, and they have get-togethers with the widows and orphans, and there's regular events where they let the families know, yeah, everybody says never forget. We actually never forget. And ATF, I wish, was just a little better with that. Internally, certainly the agents and ATF employees feel it, but it's a very insular feeling. It's not really put out there to the public as much as like a police department like NYPD does. And I really would like to see that. And under the outstanding new director, Sakata, I am sure that things that have ebbed in the past are going to be brought properly to the front. I'm convinced of that. He's a good guy.
It's coming about. It's coming about.
Coming about.
PGA got, which is our public and governmental affairs from ATF. All the Fed agencies have something like that. They got on board with us here a couple of months ago, and they're working on things, and they keep me somewhat in the loop, and I appreciate that. And yeah, because they never forget. It's got to be there.
And everybody that's been through, I used to say, you would look at a picture of the pile at the Trade Center and the feverish work that was going on. And it became apparent there were some early rescues, but at a certain point early on, the people that were there, we really realized this was a recovery effort. And I used to say the grandma in Montana that wrote a check to the American Red Cross or some other organization was literally about doing as much as all we were actually at the scene. And yeah, we felt America's love during all of those efforts, without a doubt. And I would just say, and I almost feel like I speak for both of you. We remember, but we also don't dwell on it. We're not going through the doom loop every day in our mind, all day, all night, of the horror of the day, the recovery efforts for months and months. We remember, but we drive on. There's a mission, the mission continues, and we have reverence, but the mission moves forward. And I think that's a good balance, especially for people that were involved in everything 25 years ago. Keep that as a theme, and you'll have a good balance going forward. It's easy to get caught up in the swirling vortex going down a bathtub drain if you let it. So perspective is pretty much everything. And yeah, it feels like a million years ago, and it feels like this morning at the same time.
And so we seem like we've forgotten. So are we concerned this is going to happen again?
Yeah.
Especially when we're at this point in wartime where certain people believe we're not at war.
Yeah, well, we've been at war since, and you could go prior to 1979. I mean, I was in the 11th grade when the takeover and all our hostages got held for 444 days. And the only reason they were let loose is because Ronnie Reagan, the man, had communicated back channel, I'm getting sworn in at 12 noon. It's a 5-minute drive back to the White House. And if they're not released by the time I pull into the Oval Office, you're going to feel the wrath of the United States in a big way. And I think a minute after he was sworn in, they were officially put on a bird, and they were coming back to the United States because they knew the fix was in, and they were going to have a bad day. And people look at right now, oh, I'm paying 50 cents more a gallon for gas. such a short-sighted look. You got to look back, and quite frankly, the vast majority of those IED deaths and maimings of our soldiers during the global war on terror, Iraq, Afghanistan, and a bunch of other places that nobody talks about, that was all Iran and their proxies. That's where it all came from. We're going to kill Americans every single place that we have the opportunity. And America, there's nothing like America when the tiger is out of the cage and awake and everybody is moving down the field together against a common threat. And it's so hard to get the social media piece and the influence and how people are literally, their world is only 10 minutes in duration at a time. Their thought process is, all right, scroll to the next, scroll to the next, scroll to the next. And quite frankly, it's been said for decades, you tell a lie enough times loud enough, people start believing it. And America, Israel, our allies, we are the good guys against evil, an evil ideology that wants to remove us from the face of the earth because of what we have, our freedoms. I don't see anybody in New York City protesting gays getting thrown off roofs in Iran. I don't see protesting the 40 or 50,000 protesters that got mowed down in the street in Iran this year. But the things that are getting protested, it's puzzling. The short-term memory of a lot of Americans. Horrible. Yeah, and to your point, Neil, you don't learn from history. It's just going to go again and again and again. Everybody, we would love to go back to September 10th, knowing what we know now. But we know what we know now. And there's good people at the helm that are protecting this country, without a doubt.
Right.
You got started in the podcasting here a little over a year ago, about a year and a half ago, right? And you call it the debrief. And you put out cautionary and safety and a little mix of everything out there.
So I started a YouTube deal at Eric Immesberger, and I do a series called The Debrief. And it's about half New York City, crazy stories, half Kansas City, and a few others in between. And what I love to do is it's like the Wizard of Oz, pull back the curtain and let the good public see the good work that's done by law enforcement. And I've had task force groups 15 years out of my time with ATF. So it's always been working with police departments, NYPD, the New York State Police, the Kansas City Police Department, and several others. So I get in retirement, because the muzzle's off in retirement, I get to pull the curtain back. When people say, my God, how did you figure that out? Here's how we figured that out. And here's the good work that goes on 24 hours a day, that sleep well at night, because you have dedicated people that sacrifice everything to protect the community. And I love to be able to showcase that to everybody that wants to hear it. It's not a job. It's pure pleasure. And on the Instagram, Eric Immesberger, I get to throw out a lot of safety tips, and not just boilerplate safety stuff, real safety stuff that when grandparents hear it, they forward it to like everybody in their circle, and parents forward it to their kids, and hey, you got to listen to this. I keep it simple, and it's all based in reality. It's no fluff. It's meat and potatoes, how to protect yourself, protect your family. And I love doing it. It's just a lot of fun. Just like you guys, criminally good.
Criminally good. That's us.
Yeah. So
awesome. Yeah.
So when you pull back the curtain, does Nikki from Brooklyn get involved in any of that?
Say that one more time, Sherrie.
I said, so when you pull back the curtain, does Nikki of Brooklyn get involved in any of that? You come out?
Absolutely. Nikki from Brooklyn was my undercover persona throughout the years in ATF, before ATF. Nikki from Brooklyn's been all over the country, knocking them down. And again, didn't feel like work. It was pure pleasure, that mission. But there are several Nikki from Brooklyn stories in there. And if people are interested in, my God, I'd like to hear something about the magic, the pixie dust that we sprinkle on a bad situation and figured out. There's a lot of times, it doesn't ATF, law enforcement, police officers, detectives, sometimes, a lot of times, you got to make your own luck. How do you do that? Give a listen to the debrief, because I showcase how we do that. It's like when we have nothing, how do you find a path forward when you are at the dead end? Well, we don't quit. We work the problem and overcome whatever the difficulty is. Make our own luck. Sprinkle the pixie dust, as we used to say. And I think the public should be fascinated with how we do those things. And just the vast majority of law enforcement is good. They wake up every day and they want to help. And people want to point out the shortcomings. Every profession has the shortcomings. When I was in Brooklyn, I arrested a dentist for raping teenage boys under anesthesia. Do we protest in the street against dentists? No. We took the one bad actor and he went to prison. And nobody hates a bad cop more than a good cop, like all of us. So when we have a problem, we deal with it. But every profession is the same. But police are out there everywhere. And it's such an easy target for the uninformed. And I like showcasing the good work. And it's not a job. It's just like when I was working. I love it, every second of it.
It's a passion.
All right. So website real quick.
Yeah, Eric, everything is Eric Immesberger. So the website, www.erikimmesberger.com. Eric Immesberger on YouTube.
I did this. Eric Immesberger right here.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
All right.
Eric Immesberger.
Appreciate it. All right. Go to storehousemediagroup.com for all things podcasting, media, and publishing. And go to Jennifer Clarke Eskew for her book. Appreciate it, guys. That was the special Tramelcast, the Neil Haley Show, the Storehouse Media Group podcast, and Criminally Good. Take